Hello, I'm Dr. Gloria Horsley.
And I'm her daughter, Dr. Heidi Horsley.
Heidi and I want to welcome you to Open to Hope Conversations, the podcast.
We believe that the greatest gift you can give yourself after a loss is hope, using this moment to connect with others who have not only survived but thrived.
So let's get started. Welcome to the Open to Hope Show. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Horsley, with my daughter and co-host,
Dr. Heidi Horsley.
Well, Heidi, we are going to answer a question from Roger today on this show. The show is really about supporting teenagers who experience a traumatic loss, because Roger has sent us this question. Roger says that I am a math teacher and was wondering how I can best help a 14-year-old student who found her 5-year-old brother dying on the bedroom floor after inhaling a balloon. Wow, that is really traumatic. I mean, a 14-year-old comes in and finds her brother dying, and now she's going back to school, and her math teacher, Roger, is wondering how he can help her. Roger, all I can say to you is God bless you that you are a teacher who is sensitive enough to even ask this question, because a lot of people under these traumatic circumstances would be afraid to even approach it or not even want to think about it, want to compartmentalize it away. You've got a kid sitting there who has had her brother die. I know that you've worked with teachers in the New York City area and helped them deal with the death of somebody in class. What are some of your thoughts?
Well, like you said, Mom, it's hard to concentrate after a loss. And, since this teenager has seen the traumatic death of her brother, she may be replaying that in her head over and over. So what I would say to Roger is do not call on people that are newly bereaved.
Well, you're saying in class.
Because sometimes they might look like they're paying attention, but they might not be. Mm-hmm. So let her answer the questions when she volunteers to answer. Mm-hmm. I would lower your expectations a little bit, at least initially, and give her less homework. Mm-hmm. And I would also take her aside and let her know that you're thinking about her and let her know that you're there for her. But I would not address the grief and loss in public in front of her peers. Because Mom, from having a teenage daughter, you had 2 teenage daughters when Scott died, and they didn't like for you to, Heather didn't want her teachers to say things in front of her classmates at school.
Right. Well, you may be getting ready for a test, a math test or whatever, and suddenly you're taken back to the death of your brother or sister, in this case, a brother. And a 14-year-old, is going to get on with life. One of the things my pediatrician, who was a good friend at the time, said, Gloria, your kids are going to go on with their lives. I mean, you don't need to be pushing them or whatever, or worrying about as much as you are, because they will be going on. She will be going on with her schoolwork, but it is going to, you're right, set her back a little bit, Roger. One of the things that I'd like to say to Roger too, Heidi, is sometimes we focus on other people, and this may bring up things for Roger.
It definitely could bring up things for Roger. I don't know if he's had a loss or not, but I mean, it absolutely could. I would, so you've got to figure out what triggers are there for you when someone's had a loss. I would also say, as far as a school teacher goes, allow children that have had a loss to leave the room if they need to. Right. Create safe spaces throughout the school that they can go to. Let the guidance counselor know, and that might be where they go. So you're going to do things like that as well.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's also important to think about your own community. When you go to lunch in the classroom with the other teachers, bring up your feelings about it, because, or find safe people. Not everybody gets good grief support. So find people who want to talk about dealing with this loss of a student. It's important to do that. And to also, you might want to get in touch with the parents or write a note. And you can talk to your school about this, what their system is for dealing with this, but letting people know that you do care and that you are there and are available.
And I'm going to say, cut this child a lot of slack. Mm-hmm. Grief doesn't just look sad. With teenagers, grief often looks like anger, acting out, feeling bored, coming to school late, not handing in homework on time, school refusal. Those are all part of grieving as a teen. It is extremely stressful. to have a loss as a teen. And we wrote a book called Teen Grief Relief, Parenting with Support and Guidance, that you can get, about the fact that being a teen is hard in the best of situations. When you put a death on top of it, it even makes it worse. Mm-hmm. So give these kids a lot of leeway, a lot of support, a lot of love, and a lot of empathy.
You know, sometimes people quit work, change jobs. You know, it's been notorious that people haven't given enough time off to people, but adults are able to kind of drop out if they have to. Kids can't.
Exactly.
You know? They're not able to drop out. It's really hard. Craig Scott did drop out after his sister died in the Columbine massacre, but he dropped out of school for a whole year and was homeschooled. But not most kids just don't have that option or opportunity, or, you know, to do that.
Exactly. And the other thing is, a lot of teenagers are good at hiding what's really going on. So just because they don't look like they're grieving doesn't mean that they're not grieving.
All right. Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, Roger, thank you so much for this question. And let me say thank you for caring about your students and wondering what you can do to help them out.
I agree with you, Mom. And the other thing I want to say to Roger is, you might be the only adult that this child has to talk to. Never assume that teenagers are talking to their parents, because they might not be. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're reaching out and that you care goes a long way. Thank you, Roger.
Yes, thank you so much. And just, I'm sure the way you treat her in class, a smile or whatever, or just a nod of the head and a concern, tells people a lot, because there can be a lot of avoidance of people who've had a loss. So thank you, Roger. And thank you for reaching out, because I think it's important that for yourself too, to reach out and find community to help you be supported, because it's, you know, the peripheral damage to other people. They are thinking about it, and it is tough, and it does bring up memories, thoughts, triggers, and whatever. So again, thank you so much for caring about your students. And Heidi and I always want to remind everybody who's watching this to visit us at Open to Hope, where we've got thousands of articles, radio shows, television shows, lots of things going on, podcasts for you to help you find hope after loss. And I always want to remind you that if you've lost hope, please lean on ours till you find your own, and God bless.
I'm Dr. Heidi Horsley. You have been listening to Open to Hope, the podcast. You can follow Open to Hope on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. To learn more, visit us at opentohope.com and go to Apple Podcasts to subscribe.
I'm Dr. Gloria Horsley. Join us again next week for another Open to Hope conversation, where we invite you to lean on our hope until you find your own.